Ports are empty. Trucks are sitting empty across the country. Warehouse vacancies are rising. Every step of the supply chain is going slack all at the same time, and that has not happened since the last recession. Let's check this out and go a little deeper.
Your Amazon delivery just added 2 more days. The medication your pharmacy said would be in stock is on back order. You noticed it. You thought it was a glitch, a vendor issue, a random delay. It is not random. Gene Soroka is the executive director of the Port of Los Angeles, the largest container port on the West Coast. This week, he confirms container import volume has collapsed to 2009 levels. What that means in one sentence is this: the shows that run your daily life are being starved of inventory in real time. And here is why it is actually worse than a single port statistic. The freight industry, absorbing the shock, entered it with a broken spine. 3 years of a freight recession, major carriers already gone, tens of thousands of drivers already out of work. The port collapse just landed on an industry that was already on its knees. The categories running through that port are not abstract commodity groups. They are the specific things in your house. Furniture and bedding represent 16.4% of all Chinese imports through this port. Plastics and resins, the materials inside nearly every product on every shelf, account for another 15.4%. Machinery and electronics combined run 18.3%. Apparel and footwear, 6.5%. Toys and sporting goods, 5.8%. When those categories collapse to 2009 volumes, the furniture store runs out of inventory in 90 days. The electronics shelf thins in the same window. The clothing rack goes bare before the next season's shipment arrives. The toy aisle in November looks like a different store than it did in October. The National Retail Federation Global Port Tracker, run by Jonathan Gold, is now forecasting the steepest summer container drop in 17 years. The Cass Freight Index, which tracks actual freight invoices, has posted 5 consecutive months of year-over-year shipment declines. December down 7.5%, January down 7.1%, February down 7.2%, March down 4.5%, April down 4.4%. That is not volatility, that is a direction. Here is why the timing of this collapse makes it more dangerous than a standard freight slowdown. In August 1990, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Crude oil doubled in 4 months. The freight market collapsed. More than 2,000 trucking carriers closed in 1990 and 1991. 1.6 million jobs were lost in 12 months. The households in logistics zip codes did not get advance warning from the unemployment report. They got it from the port volume data 3 months before the jobs number confirmed what was already done. Here is what makes 2026 structurally worse than 1990. Today, the freight market entered the port collapse already bleeding. Yellow Corp, the 3rd largest trucking company, collapsed in 2023. 30,000 jobs gone overnight. In December 2025, 10 Roads Express, a 79-year-old company, shut down all operations. 2,000 workers. International Motors laid off 300 employees in February 2026 after truck orders fell 30%. Standard forwarding freight shut down. Clean Transportation closed. STG Logistics filed Chapter 11. 3,147 freight job cuts formally announced since mid-January alone.
Hey everyone, real quick, sorry to jump in. If you want the full bundle, the real estate crash cycles mega grip. Is that even a word? It's 4 courses. The cycles course, the bear market course, so much more. I can't even list it. Links down below. Take a look at it and let's get back to the video.
Today, I want to walk you through exactly where each step of the cascade stands right now, which companies and workers are already inside it by name. A viewer who pulls containers at a major port wrote, "It is slow, real slow." A viewer whose family member drives for a major carrier wrote, "Every other week they ask him not to come in." These are not analysts reading the Cass Index. These are people living inside the second step of this cascade before the data has confirmed it. The cascade runs in the same order every time. Container imports are where it starts, and the collapse is official. Soroka confirmed at least a 10% drop. Exports from the port to China are what he called dismal. Soybean exports fell 80%. The tariff shock suppressed orders so severely that the front-loaded inventory keeping shelves stocked is burning down. When it runs out, the orders behind it are 90 days old. Ernie Tedeschi put the household dollar figure on it. Tariffs and supply disruptions are tracking toward a loss in purchasing power of nearly $2,500 per household. Trucking is where the cascade lands next, and it is already inside the data. The Cass truckload line haul index rose while shipments continued declining. Fewer loads moving, rates going up. ACT Research called it an incipient driver shortage. If you work in trucking and lost the day this week, you are the second step. You are experiencing a cascade that started at the port months before your phone went quiet. The people in trucking feel it before the data confirms it. Warehouses are where the cascade becomes visible in building addresses and employee counts. Macy's closed its fulfillment center in Owasso in March. 993 workers. The facility had been open since 2014. Fresh Realm filed Chapter 11 and laid off more than 1,000 workers. Railcrew Express cut 400 employees. Ruan Transport laid off 144. GXO Logistics cut 378 workers. Cushman & Wakefield show national industrial vacancy at 7%. The Inland Empire is seeing the steepest occupancy declines. The infrastructure that stored and sorted the goods is contracting in the exact zip codes built around the port. The retail shelf is where the cascade becomes self-reinforcing. Retailers ordering less inventory means Soroka's count keeps falling. The loop runs in reverse. Every step amplifies the one behind it. More than 5,100 freight-related layoffs formally announced in 2026 alone across at least 20 states, spanning warehouse operators, manufacturers, trucking companies, and food logistics providers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics lag between the port collapse and the printed unemployment number is 60 to 90 days. California, New Jersey, Georgia, Texas, Illinois, the 5 largest warehouse states are where the job step lands first. By the time the rate in your state reflects this, it will have been running for 6 months. That window is what matters right now, and there are 3 specific things to do inside it. First is locking in supply position. Lock in furniture, bedding, electronics, apparel, and toys. The inventory on the shelf right now reflects shipments booked before the collapse. The inventory arriving in August reflects the order collapse happening now. The price today is pre-cascade. The price in October is post-shortage. They are not the same number. The second is assessing income exposure if you work in logistics. The BLS data has not printed yet. The WARN filings and bankruptcy notices have. Carriers close in order of margin thickness. The smallest and most leveraged go first. Ask the question your dispatcher has not asked you yet before they do. The third is positioning your budget before the fertilizer and freight cascades overlap. The Hormuz disruption and the port collapse are not separate shocks. They are 2 shocks running toward the same destination. Your receipt at the grocery store, your bill at the hardware store. The households that understood the overlap absorbed neither shock. Gene Soroka counts boxes. The box count this month matched the last recession. The Macy's Center in Owasso had 900 workers. It has 0 today. 30,000 people did not see it coming from the report. They saw it from the silence. The port count is printing now. What you do in the window matters. Economic Ninja is out.